All right, so what's up, everyone? This video might be a little bit more like new agey. Um, I'm a pretty logical person, but and not everyone might agree with sort of these philosophies. But I'm just going to give you sort of my worldview and how I think about things. So I think that the universe likes to test us and see if we really want the things that we're going for. And sometimes it'll put like an obstacle in front of us, and if you really want something, it's just on the other side of that. And if you don't want something, then you can just walk away and you're just about to get it. And so I'll give you just a couple examples that I've noticed, in the last little while. So one of them, I came up with this idea that I'm partnering with some coffee shops, and I'm not going to go into the specifics just yet. I have like a whole coffee series that I'll be breaking that down, but essentially I had a few coffee shops that were interested in this idea, and one of them wanted to meet with me, and then the morning of our meeting they basically were like, yeah, we want like $5,000 a month to do this idea, even though it's only like a few hours on each Saturday. Which really felt like they decided, instead of doing like the community aspect of my idea, they were looking for a cash grab, and it was kind of disillusioning. And I had a second meeting like an hour and a half or a couple hours later, and I was in the parking lot of this next coffee shop, and I just about didn't go in. I was sitting there and I thought, they're not gonna get my vision. They're not gonna understand what I'm trying to develop here. They're just gonna do the same thing. And I just about didn't go in. And then finally I said, look, I'm just gonna go through the motions. They can reject me if they want, but I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do my best to explain this idea. And I go in there, and these guys just got the idea. They're huge on like what they were already coming up with ideas for basically what I created, something similar. And so like they really got the vision. They were very positive. It couldn't have gone better. I'm excited to see what it can be, but I just about didn't go in for nothing. I drove 30 minutes to be there. I was right on time, and just with this negative thinking, I just about didn't go in. And today I had a similar moment where the pressure of like, I've been trying to get this snowboarding trip going since September, and I really went into it blind, too enthusiastic, I would say. I'm still going to do the idea in a few months, but I basically just spread myself too thin with too many ideas, wanting, I get excited about coming up with a creative idea that I know people will like, and instead of just taking things slow, sometimes I try to dive in, and it was spreading me too thin, and so I wasn't able to do the idea the way that I liked. And also like it costs a lot of money, and so when you're spending a lot of money trying to like develop an event, and you're playing online poker as an income, you're like spreading yourself thin. And so it was getting to this breaking point where I was getting so stressed that I honestly just felt like, okay, if things don't start turning around with all these things, I'm just gonna, like, in 4 days basically, I was just gonna go van life in Vancouver and just spend months there, put all these ideas in the back burner, not even do them. And I just, like, initially I was just gonna leave like the next morning. It was like I just felt overwhelmed, and I felt like, the cold weather, was just on top of everything else, and I was just like, I'm gonna leave. But I basically told myself, like, okay, I'm not gonna leave today. I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna go on Saturday. So that was in 4 days. And I'm still gonna meet the people that I was gonna meet with this week. Like, I had an entrepreneurship thing that's like later in the week, and a few other just kind of meet with a couple friends here and there. And so I was like, I'm gonna still meet with all these people, but I'm gone. Like, unless the universe really wants me to stay. And I went and hung out with a friend of mine. Like, we went for coffee, and of course coffee, right? And we just got to talking about things, and I mentioned the idea to him, and he was so positive about this idea and like what it could be. Just the fact that I could, he knows enough about me to know that, like, I'm very analytical, I'm very good at iterating things, and so my personality type suits trying to put an event on, because I, even if I got the first one wrong, I would take enough feedback and the next one would be better. And realistically, before I do my first one, I'm gonna like try to do it with a few different people, try to get a sense of like what they think I might be missing, and yeah, just keep refining it until I get something that people just really like, because that's what I care about. It's like giving people a good experience, having them enjoy themselves. And so he just put me so much back on track. His positivity just like amped me up, and that talk is what, like, I feel like it saved my life in not to be too dramatic, but it really, really, I'm not going to Vancouver. I'm not running away from these things. I'm going for it. And I've spent a bunch of time today like really starting to refine this coffee idea and just start breaking it down into manageable pieces so that I can do it. And yeah, you know, I last night, I honestly was thinking like first thing this morning, I'm going. I'm just out of here. I'm tired of this shit. I'm frustrated. The bookkeeping jobs haven't come in. I've sent out hundreds of resumes. I'm either getting my resume discarded by their scanning machines, or they don't like that I've played poker for 12 years and they just say, okay, like, we're not hiring this guy. We don't, maybe they think poker players are lazy. Maybe they think I didn't really play and that I'm just sort of covering this long gap. I don't have a clue. I've sent out maybe another 50 plus resumes now that I've got my resume built in a way by a nonprofit that says it should pass through the scanners. So I don't know. But in the last, little while, I was overwhelmed and I felt like things had gotten to a head. Like, but you know what? I don't care about the bookkeeping job right now. This coffee idea might really take off. It might take off to the point where I'm not going to have time to do a bookkeeping job. And so just having somebody, tell you the things that they thought were positive about it, and especially for me, it's like the fact that I just about, just canceled, and, I was going to just tell them like, hey, I'm last minute going on this trip and I'm not going to be able to make it. But I didn't. And I got like the pep talk of my life, I feel like. And I didn't tell him, I'm about to leave and go to Vancouver and just drop everything. I just mentioned the idea and kind of gave him a couple point by point, details of the vision. And I've never felt more on track than I do right now. Like, it's been a whirlwind of a day. Like, I started this day at like a 1 out of 10, just feeling like nothing is gonna go. This whole week is just me walking, having no like positivity and not feeling like anything is gonna turn around, to feeling like right now where tomorrow morning I already have a list of things I'm going to be working on and learning about coffee, starting to like develop the tasting profiles and all the things I'm going to need to do to actually make this idea happen. And like the videography stuff is starting to come together. Like, he can get me somebody between him and another guy that can do the videography for like a very good price. or free. And yeah, it's just like, these things are starting to come together because I just keep showing up. I just keep saying, I have no idea. This, like, nothing right now looks like anything. I have a bunch of areas that I've put, thousands or hundreds of dollars into, and I don't know if they're going to become something. But I know that if I keep showing up over and over and over, there might be a point where suddenly it all looks like something, and that comes right after you decide you could give up right now, but maybe you just go a little bit more. And this is early in the journey. If you're watching this 5 years from now and I'm still making these videos and I'm still doing the coffee idea, then the coffee idea has blown up. I guarantee you, okay? Right now, there's 5 subscribers on this channel, and 4 of them are my accounts, okay? So if you're watching this in 5 years, hopefully there's at least 6. Anyways, that's all I got for this one. I'll catch you in the next one.